Hi guys, welcome to Against All Odds podcast. I'm your host, Yris Palmer. Today we have a very special guest, the man that I am building a life with, the father to our son, and NBA vet, Troy Daniels.
Superstar,
yes. Troy Daniels. So just to let you know, our podcast is about people whose the odds were against you and somehow you are here in the seat, successful, thriving, and we want to hear your story.
Cool. What you want to know? I'll tell you anything you want to know.
So obviously I know you very well. And as you know, I'm super into astrology and zodiac signs.
Yes.
And for everybody watching, I am a Taurus. Troy is a
Cancer.
And do you feel like you're a true Cancer?
I do. I feel my emotions right now as you speak.
Okay, good. We love that. We love an emotional man.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I go based off of this app, this astrology app, and I pulled some of your Cancer traits. Oh. So I want to see if it resonates with you, if you're a true Cancer or you feel like that's not really you. Okay,
let's do it.
So I'm going to read you some of them, not all of them.
All right.
Cancer traits: best quality, compassion, loyalty, and strong emotional intuition.
Yes.
Life goals: to have a happy family and create a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
Needs to work on: being less moody and stepping out of their comfort zone.
Noted.
And this is, I didn't make this up.
Okay. Got it. Noted.
So do you feel like any of that resonates with you?
I feel like everything you just said was kind of spot on. It's kind of weird because I feel like astrology is like, it's always right. And it's like, it puts everything into perspective. So I'm going to take those notes and go home and see if I can apply them.
Okay. I feel like it really resonates with you. I feel like you are very you're very into family.
Yeah.
You love to create a safe space.
Yeah.
And I feel like the needs to work on, I think this is definitely a year where I think you're stepping out of your comfort zone and exploring different avenues, which we can get into that later on in the show.
For sure.
But I want to take it back to the beginning, like to the very, very, very beginning. Okay. Was it always your dream to play basketball?
Yeah, it was always my dream. I mean, I want to say 2 or 3 years old, Prince's age. Like I kind of grew up and like, you know, watching other guys on TV and then, you know, guys in the community like playing in the NBA or playing basketball. And everybody wanted to make it to the NBA in the community. So it was always a thing for me in life, you know, to be able to make it to the NBA and play basketball in general. So
how old were you when you like actually got on a team?
I want to say, on a team?
Yeah, like.
I want to say maybe like 6 or 7.
Okay.
That's why I'm not really rushing Prince yet. But maybe 6 or 7, I started rec league, and then I kind of figured out I was really, really good. And then it just stuck. You know, I was like, I always wanted to play basketball, and then my mom was like, all right, I'm gonna keep putting you in it. If you want to keep doing it, let's do it. And that's just what it was. So.
And do you feel like it was like who was like the parent that, like, was your mom pushing you to like play it, or it was just something that she just felt like you were naturally good at, and she was like, we're gonna explore this?
Pretty much my mom. I'm a mom's boy, mama boy anyway. So,
I know.
My dad, he was around, but he just, you know, I would see him like every other weekend and stuff like that. But he would definitely, you know, invite the basketball, you know, thing. But my mom was like really on top of it. So, I mean, hey, I owe her everything because that's the reason why I'm here today. So, yeah.
Okay, so take me back through like your childhood. So you're playing basketball. You're what? Like you said 6, 7. You start
Yeah,
playing.
I was 6 or 7, and then I started rec league, and then from rec league, obviously, middle school I think started, and then I tried out for a team, and actually did not get picked or selected for the team, and that kind of like it made me really distraught. Especially as a young kid, you don't want to, you don't want to fail or hear the word no. But I stayed with it, and then once I got to high school, my high school basketball coach, he noticed I was really, really good. So 9th grade, I started freshman year.
What was his name? Your high school coach?
Mickey Hardy, Coach Hardy.
Coach Hardy, okay.
Yep. So I got to 9th grade, and then he wanted to put me on varsity my 10th grade and then up. Like it was like that, and that's not really. It's not normal in a way. And, once that happened, it just, that's when I really fell in love with the game and always wanted to work on my game. And, you know, kids were at the park or they'll go to parties and stuff like that. And I would always work on my game. I would make sure I work on my game.
So high school was really when you gained your like recognition as like, wait, I'm like pretty good at basketball. Like might have a chance. Was there a moment then when you and your mom would be like, wait, you can maybe make it to the NBA?
Yeah, for sure. I would say we probably have that. We had that idea once I got to college. I think the goal when I was in high school was to make it obviously out of high school and then make it to college.
Because in high school, you were named Northwest Region Player of the Year.
Yes.
And Roanoke Times Player of the Year.
Yeah, it was a lot of Player of the Years that year for sure. I think
so you didn't feel then like, damn, I'm good. I'm about to make it in the end, but you didn't feel that?
I mean, you feel that way, but like as a kid, you don't really want to be too naive to where like you're almost protecting your feelings. And maybe that's the cancer in me.
Wow, that's definitely the cancer in you because you were so like intuitive with your emotions.
Yeah.
So you were protecting yourself?
Exactly. I mean, obviously, I feel like everyone has a dream.
Yeah.
But you don't really want to like be naive to where it takes you out of context. And I stayed within it, and you know, my goal was to get to college. And then, you know, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, it went from, you know, 2 or 3 schools to maybe 30, 45 schools, and the phone ringing all the time and getting letters and stuff like that. And that was a real dope experience for me. I think we talked about it maybe a couple weeks ago about Prince being in that position at some point. It's a fun experience, you know what I mean? And obviously high school, at the time I was playing basketball in high school, I was playing basketball in AAU as well. So it was almost like a travel team. So that kind of really put me on notice and put, you know, the coaches and everybody on notice, like, hey, this kid can really shoot the ball. He can really play basketball. And that's kind of how I kind of catapulted myself, obviously, once I got to college, to having that dream to really think like, hey, making it to the NBA can really be possible. So
God, Prince has the blueprint.
He does. It's so easy. I can't wait till they get older. Don't worry.
Okay, let's get to like college.
Yeah.
So you went to VCU.
Yeah.
And you're in college now. And so when was the moment in college that you were like, okay, I'm going to make it in the NBA?
I want to say maybe my junior year. So my sophomore year, I actually broke my foot. I broke my 5th metatarsal, whatever. You don't even know what that is, but
yes, I do.
I broke my foot. I had to get a screw in it, and that really like took me to a whole nother level where I'm like, I have to get back. You know what I mean? Like this could be it. These 2 years is like I don't want to go get a job. Like I want to play basketball. I want to make it professionally. So my college coach sat me there, and that's, matter of fact, I got to say it. We went to the Final Four that year as well too. Okay. As a mid-major. So my junior year is when Shaka Smart, my college coach at the time, sat me down and said, hey, he called me Buzz. He's like, hey, look.
He called you what?
He called me Buzz.
Buzz?
Yeah, Buzz.
Okay.
He used to coach for Marquette. His nickname was Buzz, and I almost went to Marquette. My junior year, he sat me down right before my junior year, and he said, Buzz, look, you know, you have a gift that nobody really else has on this team, and kind of, you know, really whoever, I've coached a lot of people, and they don't really have what you have. So I really think you can make it to the NBA. You can be an NBA player. And for him to speak life into me like that, it really like resonated with me. And he gave me a plan. He was like, I'm gonna give you a plan and I want you to follow it. And I sat down and we sat down just how we sitting down. And he gave me this piece of paper and it was like tons of drills on it and like time frames on when you should do it. And it was like morning and evening. Or morning and night. That's basically what it was. So for that summer, as we went into my junior year, I followed that plan. And I'm gonna be honest, like I became like an elite shooter, not overnight, but within like 3 or 4 months by working on my game. I was working on my game, and it just became second nature to where every time I shot the ball, I really thought it was going in. And I was like, oh my, like this is crazy. And mind you, like, you know, some of my friends, they would go to, you know, house parties, college parties and stuff like that. And I was just like, nah, you know what? I think I'm gonna follow the plan. And, you know, it translated into a great senior year. And then I kept following the plan. It became repetitive at that point. And then, you know, we'll talk about the NBA in a second. So.
Following the plan, it's like people don't realize like the strategy behind having a plan is really what sets you up for success.
For sure, no question.
And that was like such a pivotal moment for you, like during that time. Yeah. Also, I love like the unseen scene that I've never seen, that people haven't seen about your coach and him speaking life into you and like, It's like little moments and people that like you probably wouldn't even expect that make such a difference in our lives.
You always notice when you look back. You know what I mean? Like when you look back on it, you kind of always notice. You don't notice in the moment for real, or you'll really appreciate it. But when you're able to look back, after all your accomplishments and your goals have been, obtained, you're like, wow, like that really like played a pivotal part to like me being who I am. You know what I mean?
So take us back to the moment where you weren't drafted and what that felt like for you. Okay. Because one of the reasons why I really wanted you on the podcast was not only because you're my man, but I really love that your story is so different from the average NBA player that was just drafted. Like you were undrafted, Correct. The odds are more against you and somehow you made it, and you made it to play in the NBA for over 7 years, where I feel like most athletes have a very short span in the NBA. So take me back to that moment where you weren't drafted, where you thought, you were going to be drafted in.
Okay, let me take you to my senior year. So my senior year, as the season is over, kind of what, I don't know if it happens like this now, but kind of what happened or what happens, around that time is like you have your senior year. Once the season is over, you start having workouts for NBA teams. And I was fortunate enough to have at least 13 NBA workouts with teams. And then one team called me back for a second work. I think it was the Pacers. They called me back for a second workout because they wanted to see kind of, they were like, okay, we might really be interested. And I felt comfortable. I felt good. Like, okay, I'm about to make it. Like I got, some workouts or whatever. And then draft night, we had a party at my apartment. My mom, everybody was there. Family, everybody, chips, drinks, everything, having a great time. Like, okay, my name could definitely be called in the second round. Long story short, my name did not get called.
So you guys are all sitting around. I need like the visuals. You're all sitting around, you're watching the TV, and you're like waiting for your name.
Waiting for my name.
Yeah.
Every single time, Adam Silver and David Stern, they would get up on the, the microphone or whatever, and I'm just like, my name is for sure getting called. Or usually what happens is your agent will call you right before they call your name. None of that happened. And it really put me in a different mood. Like I remember crying that night, not in front of everybody, but I cried like when I went to sleep, like what am I gonna do? Like this is not really, this is not my plan. You know what I mean? And my plan was to make it to the NBA. And I felt like I did everything possible to be able to get to that point, and it didn't happen. So obviously that didn't happen. And then I want to say a couple of days later, I signed with this agent, Bill Duffy and Associates. He's a very prominent agent in the NBA. Kevin Bradbury was my actual agent. And I signed with him. And once I signed with him, I just knew that I was going to be in the NBA again because they're top 2 agent in the league. You know what I mean? And that didn't happen either. So they basically told me and said, hey, we don't think you can be an NBA player. We think you can play overseas. And like, I think that's a better fit for you.
They were trying to ship you away.
They were trying to ship me away, man. And I kind of was like, because I'm not naive. So I'm like, okay, all right, I got you. Like, so where do we go? And I told my mom. My mom was like, nope, that's not it. She was like, overseas is not your plan. That's not what God has for you. That's not you. You're an NBA player. You're an NBA star.
Let's just tell them your mom's name, because Cheryl Twine, that woman, if you're ever in trouble, if you ever she will find a way.
She got you.
So she found a way to get in your head. Like, you're not going.
She found a way. And they actually gave me, they fronted me like $5K. And it was like a whole thing. I was like, I got $5K on all that. And I told my mom, she was like, give it back. I was like, what do you mean? She was like, give it back. You don't need to have that. I got you. We're going to get to where you need to be, but you're not going to go with this agent, and you need to get a $5K back.
They gave you $5,000 for signing with them?
$5,000. I guess you can call it a signing bonus, or like they front you money and stuff like that after college or whatever. But I understand now. I didn't understand at the moment. I was like, why I got to get the money back? I don't want to get the money back, whatever. But once that happened, 2 days later, she found an agent for me. He was a small-time agent. His name was John Spencer. I don't even know if he had an NBA player yet. And I don't know how my mom found him. I'm going to be honest. And
we love a resourceful queen.
Exactly. I ended up signing with him. And he ended up getting me a deal, like a training camp deal with the Charlotte Hornets. And let me roll it back just a little bit. I almost went to Australia around that time too.
Okay.
And I remember meeting with the team that had, what what was it? Oh yeah, it was a team that had like $100,000 for me to go or whatever, and then I had told my mom again, and she was like, no. So I wanted to give you that context as well too. Everything I'm feeding to my mom, she's like, nah, that's
She's like,
cool.
no.
She's like, nah, you're good.
Yeah.
I got you. And so I signed with the Charlotte Hornets, maybe 2 or 3 months later for a training camp deal.
Let's forward to 2014 when you signed with Houston Rockets.
Yes, got you.
What was that like?
Once I signed with John Spencer, he got me into the D League. I played in the D League for a while. It's the G League now, but I played in the D League. It's like a developmental league for professionals trying to make it to the NBA. I did not want to be there. My goal was to like not be here. And we stayed in an apartment that was not nice. I was eating chili beans literally for like a week or 2 weeks straight, trying to like figure out my money, like all that. Like it was a whole thing. And then when I signed the contract, we were getting about $1,500 a month. That was my contract. You had an A contract, a B contract, and a C contract. I had the B contract, which was $1,500 a month, and I had to make it work. I spent my first check on a MacBook. Like I went and bought a MacBook.
That's so you,
and
by
it was
the
like,
way.
and I was like, me and my roommate was like, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna, you know what I mean? And we did. We figured it out. And I think our main thing was just playing basketball and trying to make it out. But honestly, that molded me into kind of my career in the NBA. But once I signed with the Rockets, or let me tell you the story of how I made it to the Rockets. I want to say game 40, game 45, I kind of got fed up, internally, and I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go to Australia, take the $100,000. The whole team came into the locker room, was like, nah, bro, like, nah, we need you, like, bro, like you're almost there. I was averaging almost 25 a game. And I came back the next day, and then the next day after that, after we won that game, my agent called me and was like, hey, I got something for you. I was like, what's up? He was like, the Houston Rockets want to sign you for the rest of the year. And that's not normal. Like usually they sign you for 10 days, you get a 10-day contract, but they decided that they wanted to sign me for the rest of the year, which was like a prorated type of contract, $800,000, but it was prorated. So I probably was like the last 6 games. So I probably got maybe $20,000, $30,000 to play for them.
Okay.
And when I tell you, I just broke down and started crying. We were in Applebee's. Aww. I just broke down and started crying because I'm like, everything that I ever worked for paid off.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
So then you got to play professional basketball.
Yeah.
For the NBA.
Yeah.
For 7 seasons.
Yeah. I say 8, maybe 9. Yeah.
Okay. 8, 9 seasons. Most players don't play that long.
Yeah. So
do you feel like when you were finally playing, was it like a strategy, a business strategy? Or were you just like playing and not really thinking about the longevity of your NBA career?
My first 3 years, I want to say I was always nervous to speak to the GM. When the owners were around, I was kind of nervous to I was always like walking on eggshells. And I never understood the business around that time until I kind of got around some real vets like Marvin Williams, Kemba Walker, Al Jefferson. Those guys like really, really like helped me understand. Francisco Garcia, my rookie year as well too. He helped me like manage my money, but I didn't understand the business until maybe my 4th year when I signed a really good deal with the Grizzlies. And I guess when the money came, my confidence came. Because I always felt like I was on a minimum. I gotta be careful how I do this, how I do that. But once the real money came, it was like I walked into the locker room. I was like, what's up? How y'all doing? Hey, how you doing? My name's Troy. Like I was introducing myself like that. And it's a business, if you didn't know. The NBA is a business more than it's a game. And
so for like new players or like upcoming players, like what advice do you have for them to play as long as you played?
I would say learn how to play the game, not the game of basketball. Learn how to play the game of business within basketball. If you learn how to do that, then the sky will be the limit for you. It's just that simple.
Everything is strategy.
I've learned in life, everything is relationship based, man. It's just what it is. It's about who you know, and take a little luck, but you can do it.
Do you also believe in like timing?
Yeah. I do believe in timing, but I don't think it's the end all be all. Timing definitely needs to be on your side, kind of for you to get to where you need to get to. But you still have to make sure that you manage your relationships at all times because, it might not happen when you want it. It might happen when you least expect it, but you always got to make sure that you're ready to go, Now
that you're semi-retired,
yeah,
what does life look like for you now?
Ooh, I'm probably, in the terms of a professional, I'm a professional dad. I'm a professional fiance. Like anything you need.
He's great.
Anything
By
you
the
need,
way,
I got you.
I'm not going to lie. I feel like I am selfishly really enjoying you just being at home, not missing a moment, very present with our kids.
Yeah.
And he's like my little safe, like my safe space. So like any event, anything, like I'm like, if Troy can't go, it makes me feel like I'm naked. I'm like, ugh, like.
Yeah, I got you.
And I bring Des, but.
but honestly, as an athlete, and I don't think people understand, I missed a lot of Thanksgivings. I missed a lot of birthdays. I missed a lot of Christmases.
You sacrifice a lot. It's a really big sacrifice.
So like, and I was telling somebody the other day, like honestly, like just being around family is like, I would never change it for anything. Like I've been in a place where I missed those things and actually being able to be present. It's, Ayla's basketball game, or Maya's dance practice, or her soccer game, Prince's basketball game later on down the road. Like those things are very important to me. Even being here right now with you, you know what I mean? Like if I was playing basketball right now, I wouldn't be able to kind of be here and support you and do, you know what I mean? So those things are very, very important to me, and I take them. I don't take them for granted because I've been in a place where, even being in Milan overseas, like I've been in a place where you don't have your family, or you see other people have their family in the same capacity that you are, and you're like, wait, where's my family? You know what I mean? So.
And every year you host a Dream Big summer basketball camp in your old high school.
Yep.
And it's a thing that we love to go to every year. We bring all the kids.
Yeah.
Where did that idea come from, and what do you hope to teach aspiring NBA players that attend your camp in Roanoke?
Okay. The idea came from a little boy like me, in the community where, I don't think we had anybody ever make it from our community. And to be able to come back and give back to those kids. And at first it was a paid camp, and something didn't resonate with me for charging those kids to come to basketball camp, because I seen people, go on a payment plan for $100. I'm like, wait, this is not right. You know what I mean? So we ended up transferring that over to a free basketball camp for the kids. And there's no greater feeling than giving back to your community, the community that raised you. So if the camp is called Dream Big. We want the kids to dream big. Anything is possible, no matter what. And we want to definitely emphasize that, no matter what. And just giving back and showing my kids that, hey, look, I made it out of here, and this is what you do. You go back to the community that you came from and you give back. That's just what you do. So if anybody's out there that is doubting themselves, or that that's having trouble dreaming big, whether you're a kid or a parent, whatever you are, just always remember that dreaming big, it really takes nothing other than your mindset. You know what I mean? And you can dream about anything, but you have to believe in it first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to believe in yourself.
Exactly. You got to believe in yourself, because nobody else is going to be you, So, and I always try to emphasize that. I always try to emphasize that to the kids when I come back. So,
one thing I will know, because I'm there every year for the basketball camp, and I really enjoy it. And I love the sense of community that you've built. And your mom, let's shout out your mom, because your mom really does all the boots on the ground work.
100%. Yeah.
We fly and we show up, and it's seeing these kids and like the passion, and like I always say to you, like I love the underdogs, because I feel like that was also part of like my life was like like nothing was handed to me. So when I see these kids come to your basketball camp and we're watching them, and they're just like, you could just tell they just have like the hustle, and like they look at you and they're looking at you like as like hope. I feel like is so important. So I'm so happy we do that.
Yes.
You do that every year.
Of course.
And I'm happy that I'm there to witness it, and our kids are there to, see it. Who do you feel like, or I don't know if you've been watching anybody that like reminds you of you, or like part of the next generation that you feel like we should be looking out for, or like looking at?
Like as like a younger kid?
Yeah, a younger kid, or someone who's about to make it, that you feel like he has like, he's someone to watch for, I
can't give you a specific name, but I think at this moment in time, there are a lot of kids that probably won't make it. Their name probably won't get called when they, to get drafted, and it could be any sport. Those kids are just like me, and then they can be the kids that are overlooked. Those kids are just like me, So if you're listening to this, just know that anything is possible. Like I was literally one of those kids that was doubting myself at some point. And, something just kind of kicked in gear for me to where it was like, yo, believe in yourself. Not only believe in yourself, put the work in. Because, at the end of the day, once you put the work in, you give yourself the best chance. You might not make it. I'm not guaranteeing anything. But you give yourself the best chance to make it. You know what I mean? And making it of whatever that capacity is. Like a lot of people, their dreams might be just getting out of high school or whatever the case may be. It doesn't have to be, I want to be a professional NBA player. I want to be, the president of the United States. Like, it doesn't have to be that. You know what I mean? It can be whatever you want it to be, but you have to believe in yourself first, So I can't pinpoint a name, but I do know there's a lot of kids like me. So just continue to keep believing in yourself, man.
I wanted to touch a little bit on when we met, and you were playing for one of the best teams, the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah. Really the only team I ever watched. But what was that like playing for such a legendary team? What, tell me the feeling, what it was like playing with LeBron, what it was like playing in LA, because you're not from LA, you're from Virginia. Yeah. So just give me a little bit of that. Give the LA people a little bit of what it's like.
Okay, and I feel like my opinion is very valid.
Okay.
The Lakers weren't the only team I played on. I played on maybe 7 or 8 teams, and I've lived a lot of different places.
I'm only touching on the Lakers because I'm LA.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because the Lakers are a first-class organization by far. And I'm not, no disrespect to any other organization out there, nobody does it like the Lakers. And I'm just going to be quite frank and honest. You know what I mean?
That's
when you go to the games, the lights are dimmed, right? In the crowd, but the lights are on the court. They're flashy because they want to give you that effect of a show. You go to a Clippers game, you can see everybody. I can see across the way, whatever. But they do that on purpose to create a show because who's on the court is the show. And it's like nobody really does that. You know what I mean? And when I first signed with the Lakers, I was in Vegas. I had to fly out to meet Jeannie and all that stuff. And I remember walking in the office. When I tell you, usually I sign my contract on my phone or I, go sign it in the hotel lobby.
They brought you here to sign your contract.
Brought me to sign my contract. Okay. And when I walked in the office with Jeannie, she had all the trophies, all the championship trophies, all on the glass. And I was like, oh my gosh. Honestly, obviously I made it to the NBA, but that was the point where I was like, okay, I really made it. I really made it.
Okay, that's what I thought the feeling would be like. I just wanted to hear it from you.
Yes, it was just like that.
Also, I'm so sad you didn't wear your championship ring.
I thought about wearing it, man. I don't wear it.
I know we don't. I know, but let's touch on that because you did get a championship ring with the Lakers, and that's I feel like, well, I don't really know, but you correct me. I feel like if I was an NBA player, that would be one of my top dreams is to get a ring.
It's to be a champion.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ultimate goal in the NBA obviously is to make as much money as you can possibly. Yes, that's the ultimate goal for sure. But you want to be a champion because when you're a champion, it comes with respect. And a lot of people obviously respect who I am, respect me as a player. But one thing you can't take from me is I'm a champion. It is what it is. So that's a big asterisk on my resume. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. And even just playing with LeBron, that's a whole nother side of things that I don't think people kind of understand and really realize. Is I made it. I'm playing for the Lakers. This is great. And it comes with all the backlash of you have to perform. But when you're playing with LeBron, it's the same exact thing on the other side. And it's probably not like that really anywhere else when you're playing with anybody else.
So did you feel more pressure?
Yes. I felt pressure anyway. I think as an NBA player, you kind of figure out how to cope with the pressure and figure it out and really arrive and perform when you need to perform. But when you have 2 layers of it, it can be tough. It can be tough.
How is that for your mental? Because me and you talk a lot about mental health at home and stuff, and we're very aware. And you're actually getting into some businesses with mental health. Yes. But how is that on your mental? Playing for such a elite team, and if you have a bad game, what are your comments like? What environment did that take on your mind?
It's tough. It's tough. We see these guys every day on TV, and they're performing and they're playing. Some guys don't live up to the hype. Some guys don't, kind of do what they want to do within their goals. So it's and like I said, the NBA is a business. So when you understand all that, it was times, when I got into the locker room I didn't have a good game, or like, I remember one time, I'll give you an example. This is a perfect example right here.
Love story time.
This is a perfect example. So I forgot what game it was or whatever. But anyway, I was playing in the game. LeBron, we all playing the game, whatever, for the Lakers. And LeBron threw me the ball. And I caught the ball, and I think I was open to shoot it or whatever. But when I went up to shoot it, it slipped out of my hand. And I couldn't shoot it. And I remember, I think I shot it and missed it. They came down and hit a shot. Coach calls timeout, right? We get to the huddle. LeBron is furious. Like, he's going like, yo, shoot the ball. What are you doing, TD, shoot the ball. I'm like, my bad. Like, it slipped out of my hand, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I remember going home that night like, yo, like, I could possibly be traded tomorrow. Like, this guy's like, he's mad. He's you know what I mean? Like, I really felt that. Obviously, I didn't have a good game either. So the Laker fans are on my back. Bron's on my back. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, wait, I could not be here again. You know what I mean? Like, or this could be it for me. And
what was like one thing that you did to cope with, like, when you did have a bad game? What'd you do?
Honestly, the next morning I would wake up and be like, yo, you're still in the NBA. The first and the 15 still has to come. Like, I've dreamed about this moment. Like, at the end of the day, this is a no-brainer. Like, who cares? You know? But at the end of the moment, you kind of feel that. You know what I mean? It's like, but the way to kind of get out of that funk is like I told you, and like I tell these kids every day, the work. The work supersedes everything, because at the end of the day, I'm still a professional and I still do this for a living. So when I put that into perspective and go work on my game and like I feel comfortable again, I'm fine. You know what I mean? And honestly, like, I'm not gonna say I was nervous playing with the Lakers or whatever, but like, it was so much pressure. I don't think people really understand that I wasn't able to be my real self. Sometimes you feel like, dang, like, if the Lakers don't want you, nobody gonna really want you. But like, once I got traded from the Lakers, it put everything into perspective. Like, yo, it's people out here that still value you, like you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I was kind of in a little funk here and there, you know, playing with the Lakers. And like I said, it's like the double time, because usually you don't have the double time of like pressure. You have the organization, and that's pretty much it, you know. But you have the organization and another player on top of you. That can be tough. You know what I mean? So
let's go into rapid fire questions. Okay.
Cool.
To like
Let's do
bring it back. What's one quote that got you through the hardest day in the league?
What's one quote?
Yeah. Do you have quotes or anything that you're like?
You said quote?
Yeah, quote.
They got me through the day.
That's got you like through like a hard day.
Shaka Smart, my freshman year, and it sticks with me to this day. The key to your freshman year, and I say the key to my life, is how you respond when things don't go your way.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Wow. What would you tell 21-year-old Troy?
21-year-old Troy. Know that this dream that you have does not last forever, and that you need to prepare yourself for what's to come next, and so on and so on.
And then a little bonus. What's something about me that surprised you? Because you are definitely like the person that I spend most of my time with.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you know.
I don't want to say nothing really surprised. Honestly, when I first met you, I just knew, like, I could tell you were like this boss type of, you know, just woman. And it doesn't surprise me. I guess it surprised me that, you know, we're like together in a way of like, I kind of got what I've always dreamed about and always wanted. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not really surprised, because I always dream about like, or I have dreamed about being in this position to this day. But like, for it to actually happen and actually be living it out, like, I have no regrets at all.
I'm your dream girl.
You're my dream girl. I'm just gonna be honest. No, for real though.
Wait, I just need to tell them a quick story, because when you got let go from the Lakers and Denver picked you up, we were already together. We were fully dating. Yeah. And I remember I was so sad, because I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. Like, he just had a game. How are they just going to move him? And I was so upset about it. And I went to pick you up. Remember, you guys had an away game, or you were flying in. And I went to LAX to pick you up. And then we went back to your apartment at the time in Playa Vista. And I walked in, and it was I had got you a cookie, remember? Because
Yeah.
I was so sad that I was like, oh God, he's going to be so sad. I had got you a cookie. And so I show up with my cookie. And then when we pulled up to the apartment, you had decorated the entire apartment with flowers. And I was like so confused. I was like, we walked in and it was nothing but rose petals everywhere. And I was like, wait, why is he doing this for me today?
I told you, he was my dream girl.
And it was like one of your, like, I feel like a hard day for you and our relationship. And I was also like, oh, he just made it like, you just like made me feel like it's always going to be okay.
Yeah, because that's just a job, man. Like people really take that stuff into consideration as far as, oh, he's in the NBA, he's this, he's that. Like I didn't care at the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wanted to make sure that you had a great Valentine's, and hopefully you did.
That wasn't Valentine's.
It wasn't?
No, that was like months after. You just did it because I don't know why you did it. You just did it.
Okay. Well,
okay, well, that's it. Thank
it?
you so much for sharing your story. You know, I love hearing your story and where you are now and the father you are, the fiance you are, and the businessman you're about to be in your, you know, the stage in your life that you are now. I think it's very inspiring for me to also see. And I hope you had a fun time on the podcast today.
I did. Thank you for having me.
Against All Odds is a Hyphenate Media Group production in partnership with iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network. For more of your favorite shows, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.